Well, good morning, friends. It seems like it's been forever since I sat down and chatted with you. I hope you all had a very happy 4th of July week or weekend, long weekend, however it worked out for you. I mentioned in my community post that I wasn't going to be putting up a second video last week because Scott was home for the whole week and we were working on a huge home improvement project. If you're very observant, you may have seen it when I was feeding the dogs. Yes, we put in new flooring in the kitchen and the dining room. When I say we, I mean Scott. I helped a little bit, but he did the majority of the work. He took him like three full days to finish it. The first day on Monday, he was basically like getting things ready, taking down off the old trim, doing all of the prep work for it. And then we had to move the furniture out. We did it kind of in stages because it's hard to explain, but this house was a disaster. Let me tell you that. Tuesday was the main day where he worked his tail off. He was on his knees all day. In fact, he wore a blister on one of his knees. And then on Wednesday, Wednesday is a whole story in and of itself, but Wednesday, when it's concerning the floor, we went to Lowe's and got some trim. We just used some, I think they're 1x2s. I think they were fairly smooth. They didn't need a whole lot of sanding. It's actually a lot cheaper to do it that way than to buy actual trim. Trim is so expensive. And so in order to save a little bit of money, and because I kind of wanted the more rustic look, that's what we went with. And then we had to stain it so that it would match the floor. And then he put the trim up. No, we just went and got the supplies on Wednesday. And I'll explain why we didn't do more than that. And then Thursday, he put the trim up. Got my coffee here. I need to take a drink. So the reason why we only went and got the trim on Wednesday, because it was the holiday weekend, Olivia worked on Wednesday. She doesn't usually work Wednesdays, but she worked Wednesday. So I told Scott, I said, as soon as Olivia gets home from work, because she only works part-time, we'll go to Lowe's. I just didn't want to put Percy in his box. He gets so upset. And it's like at nighttime, he does great. He's fine. He doesn't care. But if we leave him during the day, he gets so upset. He tears up his cushion, shreds it, has potty accidents in there. I mean, he gets really upset, especially if he's left for a long time. So whenever we can avoid putting him in the box, if someone is home, that's what we've been doing. So anyway, I took Olivia to work. She still doesn't have her driver's license, but she's getting closer. She has to have like 50 hours or something. I don't remember. She has to have a lot of hours of driving time before she can take the driver's test. And so she's got about half the time that she needs. But anyway, beside the point. Took her to work, and she was kind of in a bad mood. She didn't want to go. She said, I just don't feel good. She said, my back's hurting all the way down. My sciatic pain is hurting. And I just don't feel very good. And I'm like, well, you can do this job. You need the money, and they're depending on you, and So I dropped her off, and her employer always brings her home, which is so sweet. They're sweet people. But we used to go to church with them. They only live like 5 miles from our house, so it's no big deal for him to bring her home. So she usually gets home between 12:30 and 1, closer to 1 usually. And it was right about 12:30 and she got home. And I'm like, well, that's weird that she's home earlier than usual. And she walked in the house and she had a funny look on her face. And I said, what's the matter? And she said, I think I'm passing another kidney stone. This was the 3rd summer in a row that she has passed a kidney stone. 2 summers ago, she woke me up early in the morning on a Saturday with pain, and I thought she was having appendicitis. So we took her to the ER. Well, come to find out, she had a kidney stone, and they told her she had another one. There were 2, one in the urethra already, and one was still in the kidney. And they said, well, we can't tell you when that one will pass. It could be next week. It could be 20 years from now. But she knew it was there. Almost exactly a year later, almost to the day a year later, she passed that second one. We didn't have to take her anywhere. She was able to cope with it at home. Well, then she thought, okay, I'm, predisposed to these, but I've passed the 2 they know about. I'm good. And she had kind of changed her diet a little bit, started drinking more water, went on a low oxalate diet, which is a giant pain. The things you cannot eat: no potatoes, no chocolate, no beans, no spinach, no soy, no, I don't even know. There's a whole long list of stuff that she can't eat. So she was doing really good on that. It was kind of a hassle. It was really depressing to her because she loves chocolate, and she loves potatoes. So as the year went on, her thinking she didn't have any more in there, she kind of slowly went back to eating whatever she wanted. She still kept drinking more water, though. Lo and behold, almost exactly a year later, she passes a 3rd kidney stone. 3 summers in a row. So because we knew what it was, we knew she wasn't dying, we knew she was not happy and was not feeling well at all, but she was not dying, she was okay. We're like, we've got to go to Lowe's. We'll be back. She was not real happy about us leaving her, but it's like, you'll be fine. Lowe's isn't very far away. It's like 20 minutes away. is run the Lowe's and come home. And the whole time I was there, I was texting with her. So she's like, in the text, she's like, I can't take this anymore. I want you to take me to the emergency room. And I told her, I said, think about it. I said, remember what it was like last time. You had to wait and wait and wait and wait in agony in the waiting room. You weren't home in your comfortable bed. You were in a waiting room, waiting and waiting and waiting. They had to do all these tests. I said, by the time they got through monkeying around and gave you a pain shot, the stone was already passed into your bladder, and most of the pain was already gone. I said, then you were left with this huge medical bill. Even though we have insurance, she's of age, she's older, she's past 21, so any of that stuff is on her. Well, because she was unemployed, basically, very low income, and everything, her circumstances, the hospital ended up forgiving her of what the insurance wouldn't pay, which the insurance paid 95% of it. So it's not like they lost out on any money. They got their money. But it was a hassle, and she had to go round and round and round and round, and you don't just get one bill when you have a hospital procedure. You have, she had at least 4, I think, different bills from different places that she had to fool with, and it took months of them hassling her for them to finally get it through their head that they could take her to court, but she didn't have any money. So she had nothing in her savings at that point. I mean, she was a young kid with no money. So anyway, I told her, I said, you don't want to do that again. And I said, things are probably even more expensive now. It's 2 years later, and your financial circumstances have not changed. In fact, they're probably going to be a little bit worse because she's a student, and she's not 100% sure she's going to be able to keep her job. So anyway, I told her all that through a message, and I said, we'll be home. We'll be home. So we got home, and she was just absolutely in agony. And so, long story short, we were able to get her into our family doctor, which that's a whole, I'm sorry, the medical profession are just not helpful. They're just not helpful. And they couldn't get her in till 5:30. So she had to suffer all day long. And I had to go to the church because it was our work day for Bible school, because we start Bible school tonight, and we had to get the church ready for Bible school. So I'm like, I have to go because I'm the Sunday school superintendent and kind of co-director of Bible school. So I'm like, I can't not be there. So Scott took her to the doctor. I went to Bible school, or to the church, to get ready for Bible school. And they gave her a shot for nausea, gave her a shot for pain, gave her some medications, which is what we wanted anyway. And 10 years ago, they would have just done it over the phone. They would have just called in something over the phone, but things are so different now. Because she has a kidney stone. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, they did a urine test. She had blood in her urine. She knew the pain. She knew what she was doing, what she was going through. So about midnight that night, Wednesday night, Thursday morning, she said, I think the stone has finally gone into my bladder because my pain medication is wearing off and I don't have that excruciating pain anymore. I'm like, oh, good. I said, now you can get some rest. So she went to bed, went to sleep, and sometime Thursday morning, not early, it was closer to maybe 10 or 11 in the morning, she passed it, and she was able to catch it. And so we're going to have it analyzed to see what kind of a stone it is, and to see if there's anything we can do to prevent another one from forming. She is back on the low oxalate diet, and I told her until we find out for sure what this stone consists of, she has got to stay on it, and she has got to stay strict with it as much as she doesn't want to. She has to. She has to just get it through her head that there are certain things that she just can't consume anymore. And being that she has IBS and we're already on a dairy-free diet, a lot of the dairy-free items are soy-based, so no more of that. She can do coconut and she can do oats. And so there are several like ice creams and yogurts and things like that that are coconut milk based or oat milk based. She can eat those, but no nuts, no soy. So that eliminates a lot of the dairy-free items. So things are going to have to change around here, and I've made my decision that for the most part I'm just going to eat the way she does. I'm going to give up things too because I feel sorry for her, and I'm not going to sit there and eat something that she loves and eat it right in front of her. We're going to cut down on the amount of potatoes that we eat. Now, we will still have potatoes on occasion, but I told the guys, I said, no more French fries. I'll still get them potato chips if they want, but I'll have to find, like, she can eat corn chips, she can eat tortilla chips, she can eat anything that doesn't have potatoes, brown rice, or nuts in it, or potatoes. So as far as like snacks go, she can have popcorn. So anyway, that's why we didn't get anything done on the floor on Wednesday. So I've been chatting for quite a while. I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here, and I'm gonna finish my coffee, and I'll show you the floor. I'll show you some other things that I've done in the house that are different. Oh, and the reason why I was wearing rubber gloves when I took care of the cats is because, I'll show you in a minute, one of the cats, probably both of the cats, gave me poison ivy on my hands and my arm. And it's from them rubbing, you know how cats rub with their heads, rubbing all over me, and they go out and they wander the woods and they're in poison ivy. And so I have to wear gloves now because I am very allergic to poison ivy. So that was that. And then the reason why I didn't take you in to show you me taking care of the chickens, and I just did the clip afterwards, is because Hurley has become very aggressive, at least not to me, but to everyone else that takes care of them. I use a broom. I have a big old a shop broom, a big one, and I put that between me and him, and I've whacked him with it a couple of times. So he doesn't come after me, but I have to have two hands. I can't film and take care of the chickens because I have to have one hand for the food and water and one hand for the broom to keep Hurley in line. But anyway, so that's why you didn't see me taking care of the chickens. He better watch it. The only thing that's saving his life is that he's such a pretty bird, because Scott's ready to wring his neck. So anyway, I'm gonna finish my coffee and then I'll show you the home improvements up close. I wanted to show you all my poison ivy. That's the biggest spot. It's actually starting to get better, but there are still moments when it really, really itches. And then there's a little spot there, and there's a spot there, and there's a spot there on the back of this hand, and then I've got a spot on the back of this hand. Yeah, it's all over me. And that's why you saw me washing my hands so thoroughly, even though I had those rubber gloves on, because I'm just so susceptible to it, and it drives me crazy. Most of the time it doesn't itch too bad, but then sometimes it just gets to itching so bad, can't hardly stand it. So I'm going to get, I saw them on Amazon, I'm going to get some of those long gloves that vets use for like rectal exams on cows. And I'm going to wear those to take care of the animals because I can't even pet them. I use those blue gloves, but the blue gloves hit me like just below where that poison ivy is. And so I'm just like, don't touch me, don't touch me. And I wear my long boots because I don't want them to rub up against my legs. So anyway, that's the poison ivy. So let me show you the flooring. Originally, I was thinking we just needed to do the kitchen because this floor, the old floor, is not original to the house, but Scott put it in about 17 years ago. And this flooring in here is what he refers to as old technology, and it was not waterproof at all. We really kind of made a mistake by putting it in the kitchen. And so after years of life living in this house, doing dishes, our dishwasher flooded a couple of times. The flooring was really bad. It was starting to warp and gap, and it just really looked bad, and so we needed to change the flooring. And so Scott decided that he was going to go ahead and just change the dining room flooring as well. So now the kitchen and dining room has the same flooring, and I really wanted like wanted it to look like old, worn out, weathered like barnwood. And when I saw this in the store, you can kind of see a little bit of some brown tones in it as well. In the store, you could see the more of the brown tones better than in the house. Once we got it put in the house, from a distance, if you're in in different lighting, it just comes off as just gray. But there are a few like brown notes in it because I really wanted it to transition better into this flooring. It's a little bit more of a drastic change between the two floors than I was hoping for. It might just be a matter of me getting used to it. The only thing he still needs to do is he needs to put a transition trim here, and he's going to pick that up after work today. It's going to have to be stained. We're going to stain it like the gray color. And this is how he transitioned from the dining room into the living room. Originally, he was going to do the seam at an angle from there to this corner here. But as you can see, if he had done that, the edge of the Hoosier cabinet would have been right over the transition spot, and my cabinet would have been unsteady. So he decided to do it this way instead, and now this table fits within there, and so does my Hoosier cabinet. But then we've kind of got this L-shaped spot. And like I said, I'm just like, I'm not 1,000% sure I love it, but I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. I'm considering maybe trying to find a rug that matches this one, a small round rug to put underneath that table, and it would kind of like cover up that corner, because like this part here doesn't bother me. It's just this L shape here. I don't know why my eye doesn't like that so much. I'm gonna wait though till he puts the divider trim on there, and I might change my mind about that. I'm not sure if this rug comes in a small round rug or not. It'll have to be like pretty small, like 3-foot diameter to fit there, and I don't know. So we'll just see. But I am very pleased with it. I really like it. The only thing I don't like about it is that it shows up the dirt a lot easier than the other flooring did. Like when the dogs track through, you can see it a lot easier. But with my Edna, my robot vacuum, she does an excellent job of keeping it nice and clean. Olivia's like, do you think there's too much gray between the floor and the rugs and the cabinets? And I'm like, maybe a little bit, but not too much. I mean, I like it. When these rugs wear out, I might get some that are more in the brown tone. I'm not going to replace these rugs. I just bought them not that long ago. So I might get some that are more in like the brown tones that you can kind of see, that's kind of picking up in the flooring. I might do that. But I just really love my gray cabinets. I am going to be repainting these, because if you look really close, you maybe not even have to look really close. Look how scratched up those are. And that is from the dogs. Not so much Oliver anymore, but Percy. Oliver did his share of this damage when he was younger, but Percy is still jumping, and tearing this up. So I'm gonna wait. It's gonna probably be next summer, because he's got to be completely out of his jumping puppy stage before I spend the time and effort to strip all the paint off of these doors and repaint them. And I'm going to repaint them the same color gray, because I just really love it. In the meantime though, I did buy some new hardware. Let me show you that. I got these new knobs. I think they're just beautiful. I got them in like the rubbed bronze. They had them in silver, but I got them in the rubbed bronze because my hinges are rubbed bronze. My light, this is the other thing I don't think I showed you. This fan Scott installed. This was actually in my bedroom, and Scott didn't think it circulated enough air in there. So I'm like, well, let's put it in the kitchen, because we didn't have a ceiling fan. I knew I was going to need a small one, and so he put it in the kitchen, and we got a different one for the bedroom. But anyway, the ceiling fan is rubbed bronze, and so is this light fixture. It kind of coming across black on camera, but that's actually rubbed bronze as well. So I wanted to get, I had thought we had enough gray, so I didn't want to go with the silver, even though that would have matched my stainless steel fridge. I thought it would match the hardware better. Let's see, matches the hardware. And it's going to be, we're just going to take these knobs off, put this knob on. Unfortunately, you can't just swap them. The screw's not, it came with a screw, but for some reason this doesn't want to get tight enough. I think the doors are not, I don't really know what the problem is. The doors aren't thick enough or something. So Scott's gonna fix that problem, and we're gonna install these. And I'm gonna install the new knobs before we paint, because I just want to freshen up the kitchen in that way. And then hopefully next summer I can repaint these cabinets, because especially these two, they really look terrible. But this is where the dogs jump, scratch when I'm fixing their food. Oliver doesn't do it anymore. Percy is getting better, but he still does it, and we're training him to not do that anymore. The only other thing we're going to do in the kitchen for a remodel is when this dishwasher dies, it's not too expensive. I would like to get a stainless steel one to match the fridge. I hope my stove never dies, because I absolutely love it. I don't want to get rid of my stove. But I told Scott, I said, before Thanksgiving, I want to get a new sink. I've already got it picked out. It's going to be a farmhouse sink. It's going to be one sink instead of two, and I want a new faucet. I've already got that picked out as well. So that's the next thing we need to do. It's not going to be for a while. He's got some things he needs to do. He's got cars and things to work on. So plus we need to kind of like build up the budget. The refrigerator purchase was an unexpected purchase, so that kind of took my sink and faucet money. So we're going to have to wait on the sink and faucet just a little bit. But we were going to put new countertops in, but The ones I really like are super expensive, and I wanted butcher block countertops, super expensive and high maintenance, and probably would get ruined fairly quickly with all of the water around the sink. So we decided against that. I don't hate these countertops, and I told Scott, I said, I don't want to change them until I find ones I really, really like, because I don't want to go through that hassle and expense to put something in that I don't love. So countertops are on hold until I find something I love, and it might be never. So anyway, so that's that. And that's our little miniature kitchen remodel. The flooring was a big deal, was needed so badly. Oh, it was needed so badly. And I really do love how it looks. Now we do still need to do the flooring in the entryway. Originally we were thinking about doing it in this floor, just continuing this floor on out. Unfortunately, Scott figured wrong. He said he blames himself. He figured wrong, and we did not buy enough of this flooring to do the entryway as well. And we bought this flooring at a place called Mark Bailey's, and they have like closeout stuff, and it wasn't they sell all kinds of stuff, good quality stuff, but it's like overstock from other stores or closeout things. So when it's out, and you can't get any more. So we're not going to be able to get this flooring to finish, but we do have enough. I see, if you see it peeking there, that's the linoleum we did in our bathroom. We have enough of that linoleum left to do the entryway. And I told Scott, I said, I think when we purchased that linoleum, we were planning to do the entryway in that linoleum, and it just never happened. I don't know why. Ran out of time, ran out of steam. I really don't know why, but it's been several years since we did our bathroom, and that linoleum has just been rolled up in the garage, in his, well, not our new garage, because we didn't have that at the time, but in one of his outbuildings. So that needs to happen this summer. Look how filthy the wall is. Ugh, that's from Bo. He comes in and lays up against my walls. I need to get that scrubbed. My entryway is a mess. But anyway, so he's gonna the transition that he uses between the dining room and the living room, he's also going to use here, and hopefully soon he will be putting this new linoleum in. He's got it. It's just a matter of, we have to completely clear the entryway out, take all of that stuff out of there, and then he's got to lay it down and trim it out. So anyway, that is that. When we took the plant stand out of here, when he put the new flooring in, I decided I was going to downsize my house plants. I went down to one aloe plant. We had two, and this one's already produced a couple of babies, so I'm going to have to probably repot this at some point, but right now it's just there. And then I kept this plant. I call her Bethany. I just love this plant. It really grows well, and I have to trim it back quite often because it just grows out of control. It vines, but I have her, and I've got this one, and that is it as far as plants on this plant stand. I had a succulent, I think it was called a burro's tail, and it was the messiest plant I have ever owned in my life. And so when I had to take everything off of this plant stand, I put all the plants out on the deck while we were doing the flooring. I just decided the one aloe plant I'm going to give to a friend, and the messy succulent is just going to live on the deck this summer, and then probably I will throw it in the dumpster because I'm not bringing it back in the house. It's just too messy. And so I was able to rearrange all my blue glass, and I've put it on 2 shelves now, and I just really love it. I love how it looks, and it's just kind of become more of my blue glass stand rather than a plant stand. But these two will live up here. And then I've got my not Victorian, vintage planter that I had bought thrifting up there because she's just so cute. She needed to be center stage. And then I've just got all of my blue glass collection and green. I've got a little bit of green glass on these two shelves. And now let me show you one more major change that I've made in my decor. I moved my mouse village. It's been on this yellow hutch ever since I started creating my mouse village years ago. I had this hutch was out in the entryway for a while, and then I decided to move it in here into the living room. And the reason I moved it, there was two reasons why I moved my mouse village. First reason was I could not keep Percy out of it. He would get up here on the edge of the couch and stretch his body across there, and he was messing with stuff. He damaged some things, he destroyed some things. Thankfully, nothing precious, nothing, you know, that was sentimental or of any kind of value, but he was still tearing stuff up and he wouldn't leave it alone. And the second reason why I moved it is because it was kind of getting really dusty and dirty and needed a good cleaning, and I was just ready for something different up here in my family living room. When we got the Hoosier cabinet, my old microwave cart, I had the guys take it downstairs, and that is where I have put my mouse village now. I'll take you down in a minute and show it to you. So when I moved it, it gave me a great opportunity to style this with treasures that I have been collecting in my thrifting, you know, my thrifting adventures. Most of this stuff was downstairs. I shopped my house to get all the stuff to put this together, and I only purchased one item new. So let me just show you real quick up close to the two different shelves. On the second shelf, I took down, I had a mushroom garland on here. I took that off, and I just have the pipberry garland and then some Christmas lights, some white Christmas lights. So then down in here, everything on this shelf was thrifted except for the books. Those were in my bookshelf. They used to belong to my mother-in-law. This basket, I cannot for the life of me remember where I got that basket. May have gotten it thrifting or at a garage sale, but I can't remember. I did get the handkerchief at a thrifting, at a thrift shop. Everything else has been thrifted except for that mushroom right there. That is made out of blown glass. It's very delicate and very pretty. My friend Cindy sent that to me. It's actually a vase, like a bud vase. And so I just put some fake flowers in it, and it's kind of in this brown tone. And then there was a pair of them, and then this is the other one, and it's in a green tone. So those are in there. And then the green glass, jadeite, kind of like jadeite looking plates. Those are actually Pioneer Woman. And my friend Kathy sent those to me several years ago. And I just really like the way those look back there. But then you can see everything else I've shown you in different thrift hauls. My latest thrift haul is when I got that blue plate with the birds, and then this bird figurine, which looks really good together. And then the deer plate I also got lately at my last haul. I've had these little deer figurines, but I thrifted those. And then I bought this at Walmart years ago. It's also part of the Pioneer Woman collection, and I just stuck it there. And then I think that topiary thing, I might have gotten that at Dollar General or Walmart, I can't remember. I've had it for several years. And then the doilies, I got those off of Amazon. So that's the middle shelf. And then down here on the bottom shelf, most everything on here is thrifted as well, except for these flowers. I got those at Walmart and Dollar Tree. This is Olivia's old record player that quit working, and I really liked it because it kind of looked like a vintage suitcase. So she let me have it, and I'm just using it in my decor. Everything else has been thrifted. All of that has been thrifted. This doily I got off of Amazon. That vine wreath I got at a garage sale. Here's that other plate I just recently got thrifting. And then I just had those ducks in my stash or downstairs that I had thrifted a while ago. That, I think it's a potato masher. Got that thrifting. Got this stuff thrifting. Now this is the only thing I've purchased. I got this at Tractor Supply. It's cast iron. I've looked at it and looked at it and looked at it. Every time I go into Tractor Supply, I would look at it. They had it on sale, I think 20% off, and so I went ahead and just purchased it. It's just a little trinket box, and I love it. And then this was sent to me by my friend Cindy as well. So that is, oh, and then the lights, the candle lights, I got those off of Amazon. And I've got 2 on this shelf and then 2 on this shelf. So that is my new display, and I absolutely love it. I think it's so pretty and so cozy and so homey, and I just absolutely love it. And then this was the display that was on my dining room table. It was my centerpiece. I decided to do something different on my dining room, but I really liked the way this display looked, so I just moved it in here onto this little table, and I love how that looks as well. This is what I've done as a centerpiece. This is just an old vintage cookie jar I got garage sailing. It's in a basket that was my mother's. This was one of my mother's baskets, and then I just put some greenery in there and some flowers, and I think it's really cute. It's simple, and I really like it. This is where I put my mouse village. It's on this hutch that was up in my dining room. It's actually a microwave cart, and I thought it was perfect for my mouse village. Now I did have to downsize a little bit on it to get everything to fit, but I really like it, and I think it looks really, I don't know, it looks better down here than it did upstairs, I think. I would show you the rest of my vintage room, but it's a disaster right now. So anyway, this is where the mouse village landed. To make a banner for my area. It's going to say Imagination Station on it, and then I'm going to decorate it with some of the activities and crafts that the kids are going to be doing this week. Now I already took some of the stuff to the church, so I'm going to have to get it mostly done here, and then I will finish it up at the church tonight. I'm going to go to the church early. If I think about it, I will try to take a picture of the finished poster when I get it hung at the church. Alright friends, this is where I'm going to go ahead and end this video today. I hope you have enjoyed it. I know it was a little bit of a longer video and very chatty, but I had a lot of updates to share with you, and so I hope you don't mind it being a little bit longer. I know many of you do like my longer videos. Anyway friends, if you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below, and we will talk to you all later. Bye-bye friends.